actually the data visualization? Can somebody help me with the definition of the data visualization? Don't worry, this is just a warm-up session. Here I don't ask, nothing is right, nothing is wrong. It's just like let us know each other and a kind of icebreaker thing. Okay, no worries. So let me go ahead and tell you. Okay, so data visualization, initially, like if we have to go back and see, like in the age of 1970s or 80s, how the data used to get stored. Back then, a computer was, a rare kind of scenario. Having a computer in a firm was a rare kind of scenario. Back then, everything used to be manual, but now everything is getting digitalized. Everything is getting e-commerce is coming into the place, and new technologies are coming into the place, and every day the data is getting added, and everything is getting converted into a electronic or a digital form. So now with this huge amount of data, what happens? We cannot read all this data. So what we have to do, we have to get into some kind of a mechanism where we can get into the insights of this data. So for this, like as Raghu and Shrikant and Bhaskar and Padmakar said, yeah, we have to convert this data into a form where we can actually get some insights. And for this, we are going to take the help of one of the best tools in the market, which is Tableau. Tableau is predominantly an unbiased one of the leading tools right now in the market, which gives you a very simple mechanism to develop your reports. At the same time, it gives you a very easy platform for the end users to use it and to play around the data, to see and to visualize their data and to get the insights, to make their business decisions, and so on and so forth. So let me go ahead and show you what's the agenda for today. So basically we are going to deal with what is data visualization, why did it come into picture, and how far or what is important of visualizing the data. Is it really necessary? And what are the good practices and what are not? What are the principles of visualization and so on? And I assume today we will be covering at least till 1.4, which is principles of visualization. And let's hope for the best if we can go for the next topic as well. To start with, what is data visualization? Yeah, as everyone said, data visualization is a very, very generic term. I hope everyone of us might be hearing this term, data visualization, data visualization. Okay, data visualization is here, data visualization is there. Before we get into that, let me make you let me make you familiar with this term. So do you think data visualization is new for you? You can say yes, no, or have you experienced or have you come across the data visualization in your day-to-day life? I feel is one of the most commonly applied place where data, but yeah, not going so far in your day-to-day life, like very commonly. Okay, let me not prolong it. When we were, I suppose, in class 5 or class 6, you remember your chemistry classes where you were introduced to the chemical compounds, and then later maybe in your standard 8th, 9th and 10th, you are asked to learn the first 30 elements of the periodic table. So this is nothing but the data visualization. So had it was in your schools, you were told, okay, go ahead, Mr. Raj, go ahead and learn first 30 elements. You would have been like, yeah, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and so on and so forth. But had it been like someday someone comes and asks you, okay, what is lanthanide, what is actinide, and so on. Can we make it out in a first gist? Absolutely no. For that, there were like genius who went behind and they designed something called as periodic table, and then they gave us this form. which was like, okay, looking at this, I can make it out. Okay, so lanthanides are XYZ, actinides are this. Do you feel this is a data visualization? And now you might want to change your answer from no to yes. Correct. So this is what, like, when we that's subconsciously in our brain we think, oh, the moment we hear this term data visualization, we think, oh, that's something rocket science, oh, that's only done by the experts, that's only I have never come across it, or I don't know what data visualization is. But yes, if you see, it's everywhere. Like, it's there as a part and parcel of our life, but we never termed it as data visualization. Only when now you have started your profession, now that you have planned to get here and think, okay, now I have to become a data visualizer or a Tableau developer, you think, oh, now this is something scary. Don't worry. I'm going to help you with this and let you know that how easy the data visualization is. And I assure you, at the end of this session, if you complete all your sessions and your assignments, you can go ahead and call yourself or you can proclaim yourself as a best visualization developer. So so before we get there, I want to let me share one more example with you. So one more, maps. Do you remember? So this is again a data visualization, like forming of the lines and grids and placing them according to the geography, and you'll say it as a data view. If in a real life or in our day-to-day life, we term it as a map. But in when we come to the data visualization, it's again, a new thing. So this chart is nothing but a famous example where back a century or 2 centuries ago, when a famous physician, John Snow, who diagnosed cholera, or he found out what is the cause and what is the root cause of cholera using this map, what he did is he made a map of the entire his town, and he placed where are all the cholera patients coming from, and then he studied this map just to realize, okay, this is a significant place where I see there are maximum number of cholera patients are coming up from, and then he diagnosed it, and then they found out, okay, there is one boring pump which is getting contaminated and is pumping out polluted water, and that's how they solved a huge mystery and saved many lives. This is one famous example which you can read. And to give you a few more examples, you can see everyday's newspaper. In the newspaper, we can see a small. Earlier, they used to give you a small bars, like they used to tell, okay, polling is like this, and this. Oh my bad. And the second might be political team A is doing like this, political team B is like this, and so on and so forth. But now they have developed their tools as well. What are they giving now? They are giving you now a pie chart or a donut chart, and they give you cards saying that this is team A, this is team B, and we see by the visualization itself, okay, A is taking a maximum chunk, so maximum A is going to come into the picture, or my A is going to win this elections, and like that. So so this is just to give you a gist of what is data visualization. And yeah, obviously, like, why data visualization came into picture, it's quite evident. Like back in 1970s or back in 20th century, there was not enough data in a digital format. Everything was manual, or it was in a books where someone has to find out. If you go to any government office and say, okay, I want my birth certificate, he will go and scroll all the pages. What is today? It happens. They just go and type your number, type your name, or type your hospital where you're born, and that's it. In the next 10 minutes, your birth certificate is ready. That's how the data is changing. And for that, to meet that edge or to meet that speed at which the data is generating, we have to come with a better mechanism. So this is one more example. So looking at this data, this is one Excel sheet where you have of one order of one company, where you have all the details like what is order ID, what is order date, and so on and so forth. So based on this, can we make any inferences? Like, can we say which is the maximum country where the export is happening? Or can we say, okay, which customer is taking, or who is our, our best customer? Anything like that? No, absolutely. So this is very crude way of representing data. This is not a way of representing data in the first place. This is actually a way to store your data, but not to read your data. But how are you going to read this data? How is this data going to help you? For this, we need something called as visualization. So yeah, if I have to ask you these questions, is there any possibility to find a correlation, find a trend, or find patterns using that data? Yes, the answer, as Raghu said, the answer is obviously a no, or a big no. Yeah. So the first part is like we have to get into visualization, but yes, there is something again called as good visualization and a bad visualization. I would like to share one example here. So let me show you. So data visualization, yes, it's as helpful as it can be. At the same time, it can be as fatal as it can. It not only helps to build you, but it can also break you. The reason, if you show something like, so this is one of the famous Tableau chart one of the person has developed. His name is Simon Scar. So he basically wanted to show what is like Iraq's blood tragedy, how many deaths are happening, and all the things. So this is a good visualization, but I would like to show what or how a picture can, how you can influence your reader from what it is and what it can be. So if I have to minimize this, so see, here it tells that, okay, so the moment you see this, you can see, oh, this is like blood, it's oozing down, like he's trying to tell you who is, like, how is the death toll happening, what are the significance you can read here, who are the biggest killers, and so on and so forth. But if you have to look at this actual chart, this was like this. So what did he do? He just added few aids to it, like he made and he changed the lines and axes to make it what? To make it look like this, to make it so evident that whatever he's trying to communicate is so precise or so evident. If he had used this blue color, it might have not communicated his whatever the information he wants to communicate, but just by changing a single color, he just changed the entire scenario. He started saying, okay, see, the moment I look at this chart, I say, oh, this is like deadly kind of thing. So those are the few things, like, the benefits that you can come out of when you're getting into the visualization. And trust me, you are going to do all this kind of things. You are going to develop this kind of charts, you are going to play with these charts, and so on. So there are few principles that we go ahead and we have to follow, which are called as principles of visualizations to be a good visualizer. At times what happens is we feel that whatever I am doing is correct, but our body or our eyes have certain tendency to perceive the data. So for that we have few rules or few guidelines which we say that we have to follow these things to communicate our story effectively. So here's another game. So looking at this visualization, so this is one chart where you have to share it with your client, might be, and you want to tell, okay, client, this is the darker shade of the gray. So can you guess which is which rectangle or with the smaller rectangles, you see which one is the lightest one. You can tell this is the number 1, this is the number 1, this is the number 2, this is the number 3 chart, 4, and the number 5. So which chart S says, sorry, what's the name of that type of the chart? That was a simple histogram, but in an inverted form. So you can say inverted chart, inverted histogram. So yes, which one of this is the lightest one? Can you make it? The number 3. So this is number 1. The background is not same, I guess, but 3. Oh, Sudhir wants to change his mind now. And Sudhir says 3. No worries. Yep, you can change your opinions. Let's see which of the chart or which of the rectangle is more light. See, I have just removed the background, and now can you tell which of the smaller rectangle is lightest? Wow, now see, everyone is on the same page. See, this is how you know, the way your eyes perceive. So the context or the background of the rectangles was set in such a way that when you perceive your data, it looks like, oh, 1 is much lighter, or 1 is much darker than 5, or 3 is much lighter. But in reality, all of this were of the same color. So this is one key aspect. Like, you know, when you are dealing with your data visualization, you have to be very careful with your colors, like how you play with your colors. That is a very important thing. That is the reason we have kept it initially in the demo section itself, to make you understand colors play vital role in your data visualization. If your color combination is not proper, it creates a wrong illusion. So yeah, this is another type of visualization. Most commonly you might have seen somewhere in the newspaper or something. Now tell me, is this information clear for you? Can you, looking at the header, there is something called as, okay, this is my bumps, bruise and breaks, and then you see, oh, head has 96, shoulder has 116. Can you tell which one is the highest one here? Can we draw insights from here? If we have to draw some insights, like we are looking at which is the most effective area or which is the most weak area for him. Knee, 300. Yep, exactly. See, looking at this form of information, we can simply, so how did we make it out? 300 is the biggest one. As soon as we saw the picture, we saw, oh, this is a big ass circle. This one is a smaller one. This one is a little bit. But if I compare, this one is the biggest one. That's how we make it out. Okay, yeah. So you don't even have to read the numbers for that. You just have to take a glance and say, okay, fine, yeah, this one is the bigger one. Let me concentrate here. And that is what you have to do in your day-to-day life when you get into your job of data visualization. So one key thing, what we have to remember, why we are getting into the data visualization. So if you get into a big company and you have to go to your senior manager, or you might have to go and meet your leaders, he don't have time to sit and keep reading the Excel sheet that I showed you 3 slides ago, like this. If you go to him and say, sir, this is your information that you're looking for, please see this and make your insights and make your graphs. No, he don't have so much of time. If he has to go through all this information and then do a strategic decision and then implement, by the time he does some insights and get his analysis, or the trend would have changed by then. So for that, what we do is called as visualization. We change that raw data into information which is visually appealing, at the same time conveys the information in such a way that you don't have to struggle to read. So somewhere it says, like, when you read a chart, and if you read it and you can't make an insight within 30 seconds of it, the chart is not as effective as it can be. So you have to remember this principle: 30 seconds, and I have to give a gist of what I have to convey. Yeah, if you have to give a detailed information, you can give it, but at least from the first page or the first site, within 30 seconds, the person who is reading should be able to make what are you trying to tell. So that's one rule, what you can keep in your mind when you are developing any charts. So see, what does the first line say? We do not perceive absolutes, but we perceive differences. So here, when we are looking at this chart, we see, okay, this chart, this circle is bigger than this one, or this is bigger than this one. The way our human eyes or human brain is trained from our childhood, or the way the human brains are developed, that we perceive what is differences first and not what is similarity. Whenever we go to a shopping mall, the first thing that catches our eyes is the shirt or the top for girls is the best one. Why do we see? Why do we choose that one? Because, oh, that was the best among all the shirts or all the tops. So that makes you feel, oh, this is like eye-catchy, or this is unique. So that is how our brain has been developed, and that is how we perceive things in day-to-day life. And so is the data. We might have to develop the techniques when we are visualizing our data, that a reader should be able to perceive, okay, this is the most important thing that I have to concentrate. So in order to filter the huge amount of data that we receive through our eyes is drawn to inconsistencies rather than the common pattern. You might have seen, like, whenever you see a chart, oh, I'm sorry. So whenever we see a chart which is like this, we don't see like, oh, this is going up. We mainly first concentrate, what is this peak? Oh, what is this value? Okay, this is like this. Oh, this was, let's say this is a collection of the recent movie. Then we see, okay, this is like this and going down. So what is this? This was Friday. This was Sunday. This is Monday again. Then we say, oh yeah, this is peak because this is a Sunday and it was a holiday. Everyone was at home and this movie got a very good reviews. That is the certain reason why this peak has come up. And obviously, as this is a Monday, everyone has to go to their offices, schools and colleges. This again went down. So this is the way our eyes perceive the data. We tend to find out what is dissimilar rather than what is similar, or our eyes draw towards the familiar patterns. See, the same point which I said earlier, this is a very important tip. So whenever you create a chart, any visualization for that matter, let it be in a Tableau, Excel or anywhere, you have to keep in mind that whenever you are building a chart, it should be so effective that the moment a person sees, not necessarily that person has a visualization background or he knows Tableau or he knows visualization, but still a layman should see this chart and should understand what is to be perceived. Okay, this is the insight. This is where my business is doing well or not well. At least he should get a gist of it within the first 30 seconds. If you can do this, you can mark yourself as an effective or best data visualizer. And there are few rules, like how to make it, or how to build the data, how to clean the data, and there are few other rules, like let me give you an example here. So here I want to tell my manager that let me suppose say, okay, my sales I'm looking at number of sales here. Suppose this is my sales, and I say I've done, these are the sales that has happened. At the same time, I also want to tell how much money that we have got, or we have how much profit that we have earned. Is this a possible thing? I say, okay, I did 10 sales on the first day, 10 sales on the second day. Here I did 20 sales, but all the time my profit was 100, 100 and 100, let's say. So is this a visualization which, what does this visualization tells you? Is it consistent, or is it uh, confusing, or does this make you think, oh wow, what is this, or does it make you think, wait, what is this? If I have to give you these two charts and tell, okay, get an insight, does this chart tells you there's some relation between this and this? Possible, but some surprises. Yes, the moment you look at this kind of charts, your eyebrows will automatically go up. Wait, I was doing 10 sales every day, and 10 I was earning 100 rupees. Now I did 20 sales and still I am earning 100 rupees. Why is this? So yes, for that, what is the possibilities? Let's make out like what can be the possible issues here. So what can be the possible errors that might have happened here? Okay, so first, can I say it might be that when the salesman was entering this data into the computer or his system, he might have entered the third day's data incorrectly, possibility, incorrect data, or there might be a chance that my visualization is incorrect. Now you must be wondering, how is that possible? I have just entered all my data and I've just come up with the chart. But what if this person, when he was constructing this chart, made this axis, say you have to give a range to this axis and you fix it only to from 0 to 10. That was the limit that you have given to your axis. Maybe, yeah. So this can be one another reason, that you just fix your axis saying that okay, 10, you just assume that okay, 10 is the maximum sales, or 10 is the maximum rupees. First 2 days I earned only 10 rupees, so third day I may earn only 10 rupees, and you just fix your axis to the 10. So this is a very common mistake that you will see when you get into the data visualization, that we have to be very precise about like how we are dealing with the axis and so on and so forth. And so before we get into more of these rules, let me show you the tool that you're going to work on. So basically this is a Tableau tool. How many of us have seen this tool before, or like worked on it? Okay, great. Anyone else seen it but never worked, but not worked? Okay, no worries, no worries. So we will get into every single possible the minor things, but yes, visualization is not a small thing. It's ocean. Once you start getting into it, you'll learn what is what what is the best thing, or what magic can you do using this tool, or using Tableau or any other tool to visualize your data. So I would get tomorrow we will cover like what are the components of the Tableau, this thing, what is a column, what is a row shelf, what are these marks, how to use this and all. So just to give you a small gist on how this works, I would like to show you, I would just like to connect to one of a sample data which we get along with the Tableau. You can go ahead and download a free version of this. There's something called as Tableau Public. Tomorrow before we start our session, or whenever you want, you can go ahead and type or search for Tableau Public. in the Google and go to the tableau.com and download a free version of Tableau where you can have your hands on, make your hands dirty with the data. With this Tableau workbook, you will also get a data, inbuilt data, so that you can start working and exploring. So this is like when you open a tool, you can actually import your data source, add it here. And so how do I do with this, or how do I start working on making a chart? It's very simple. Just drag and drop. It's taking some time. That's it. And I got my categories. If I drag and drop, I tell what is my profit. Please increase the window size. It helps. So yeah. So the main thing that I want to cover here today is you can go ahead and connect to the data source from here. You can explore like what are the things, what is dimension, measures. You don't have to worry for any of these things. I will be covering each and everything in detail and let you know and make you familiar and make you expert in what all things these are and how do you use them. So if you have to download, let me show you what you can do. Yes, Tableau Public. You can search for Tableau Public. This is a place where, this is another wonderful place which I would like to tell you after a while. But before that, Tableau Public download. You can go here, tableau.com, and yes, you can also take a 15 days trial version. This is absolutely free of cost, and you will get the options here. Okay, so these are nothing but the various different ways how you can connect to your data sources. You can actually connect to your Excel, text files, servers, or your any big data and all these things. So here you can say try it now and you can download here you can select it as Tableau Public and you can download it from this page. After that, you have something called as Tableau Public. This is a place where they host like all the people who are visualization enthusiasts. Yes, absolutely. There is a way that we can connect R and Tableau and do, significant or, inspiring trends and all the things. But, more or less we can do all the things, not all the things like that we do in R, but we can also do, the basic things like how do you do average line, constant, or you can build your charts and trends and forecasting using the R itself. R has the Tableau itself. Tableau has inbuilt so much of the capabilities. I wanted to know, can I directly transfer data from R? Yes, you can directly connect here. There is something called as here you can connect your manage R connections. There's few packages that you have to install in R, and then you can connect from RServe to directly here. No, you can directly connect. So you have directly option here, which is RServe. Okay, and so we can get into all these rules and all these things from tomorrow. So today being the first day, I would like to end the session. I would like to take session only for 1 hour, and before we wind up, I would like to take any questions that you may have. Padmakar asks, what is the general practice? Does tools like R and Tableau interface through database? So it totally Padmakar, it totally depends on the requirement. Like there will be requirements where you don't have to actually connect to R. You directly have to connect to your visualization or your database, and Tableau has like I can say you can connect almost to any database using the connection or the ODBC connections that Tableau has inbuilt, unless and until you're what to do after 14 days of trial version. Okay, so Abhiriyal asked what to do after 14 days of trial version. So there is two things. I would, at this point of time, I would not suggest you or encourage you to go and buy the Tableau license. But yeah, what we can do is we can go ahead and download Tableau Public. Tableau Public has no expiry date, and it comes with all the features that Tableau normal desktop version has, with a certain limitations that you cannot connect to the server, or you cannot connect to a larger data files. But yeah, to learn and to make your hands dirty on the data and visualization, I think Tableau Public is enough. And answering to Akhil's question, so which one has larger market share? For in this current last year 2016, Tableau is leading, and Tableau has surpassed all the other tools, all the other visualization tools. There's no other tool which is nearby to Tableau. There are two primary reasons for this. When you say Tableau, it's the way we can develop the data, or we can develop the reports or dashboards, is very much convenient. And the second best option, or the second best thing that comes with Tableau, is it has a huge community. The moment you post your question, if you are looking for one question, if you post one question, you will get 3 answers for that. It's so huge. And there are people who are like, will give you answers. So there are someone called as Tableau Zen. These people, they help users who are new to the Tableau tool to learn or to overcome the hurdles and make the charts, which is very much, not so much common for any other tool like ClickView, or if you go for the Microsoft BI tools, or any other tool for that matter. In the real time, do we have to first use R for prediction and then use Tableau for forecast? So for few of the trends, we don't have to, unless and until you have to use all the different what do you say, all the statistical terms and statistical data thinkings, like data modeling and all the things. Unless you don't want to get into that, you don't have to connect to R. You don't have to worry if you have to connect to R and use Tableau. No, you don't have to. More or less all your visualizations and all your forecast, all your insights, you can develop them using Tableau itself. But yes, if you have to get into very much insights, and like you have to normalize your data, put the regression and all those statistical terms that we hear, if you have to do all that, then we have to connect to R, which is like, not a mandate thing, not a very mandate thing. Where does Tableau get its process data from? I'm sorry, Gaurav, can you please be a little bit elaborate on this question? Yes, Akhil, we will cover Tableau server, but not extensively. But we'll help you understand what are the components that are required, or what are the things that are essential for you to know in the Tableau server. And do we need any technical expertise? No, you don't have to. Now that you are here, any person who has a technical background or who don't have a technical background can get into Tableau, learn Tableau, and we have designed our curriculum in such a way that it balances and helps each of the learner to come on the same pace, that means how to develop or how to write the calculations to get the desired. So Raghu, you don't have to worry for this. We'll help you with that. This Tableau is sufficient to become a data analyst prior having some SQL knowledge or any other analytical tools or reporting tools. are required to get in this industry. So here, I'm sorry, I just lost this. This Tableau is, yes, this is sufficient to get into the market, and so SQL and all these things are, SQL knowledge is efficient or required to pull the data, but to visualization, it's not 100% required, but having that knowledge is always, a kind of a good thing. So having SQL knowledge is a good, but not having will not harm you, or is not going to stop you from becoming a data visualization expert. And Gaurav, to answer your question, it's a direct feed. You can have, like the way I showed you, you can just go here and say if you want to connect your data from Excel, Access, or directly from Tableau server, from any of your database servers, you can directly pull that information as well. If you feel that information is not so appropriate and you might have to clean the data, then we might have to rely on some other ETL tools. But if not, Tableau is self-sufficient. And we are going to use Tableau 9 and 10 both. I'll be switching in between Tableau 10 and Tableau 9 at times. And Tableau helps only for data visualization, or can data manipulation. So here, Raghu, what do you mean by data manipulation? Is it like you want to change the entire data or add new data? Exploration, calculations, or removing data we can do, but this being we connect to a server or a database and we call the data, we cannot add any data back to your server, but anything you have to add, modify, you can do. For suppose if this is my, let me just turn this, and I say, okay, this is my data where my first category is furniture, the second one is office supplies, and third one is technology. I'm giving you a very basic example though, and you feel, okay, office supplies is not actually the office supplies, but is it's also, what do you say, okay, office supplies and food. It has some food products also in this. You can do that. More session, please make your screen resolution to 1024 into 768 possible, so that can, sure, I'll do that. So Srikanth, yes, Tableau admin and Tableau server is a very rare requirement that you have to get into, but what are the basic things that you need to be or to sustain as a Tableau developer, we will help you with all those things. Okay, no worries. Any additional questions or any doubts regarding the session or the course? Any particular system requirement? Nothing as such. If you have anything more than 512 MB of RAM and let's say 10 GB of hard disk, that's more than enough for Tableau. The higher the better, but minimum requirement is this. You don't have to worry for that. Will it be on cloud or dedicated? So here, Abhiryal, so there are two versions again. The Tableau desktop that will store all your information and everything on your system. So there won't be anything which is going to cloud unless you go and publish and you send this data to the, in terms of no, there is nothing in terms of installation. It just, you have to download it and say give whatever the basic information. You have to fill up a small form where you give your name and all those details and just say install. That's it. So as a developer, Tableau developer, do one need to be a proficient in R also? No. I would say the answer will be a very, very big no. So in Tableau, you don't have to rely on R at all. You can, not at all, I would say, let me correct myself. I would say that Tableau alone is so powerful that you can do major of your works only with drag and drop and writing few of the queries and writing few of the calculated fields, and that's it. You don't have to know R for this. If you know statistics and you know statistical terms, that's an add-on again for you. But if not, you can still be a very good Tableau developer. Trust me. So guys, any additional question? Okay, I'll take it as a no. There are enough jobs. There are so many jobs that are going, like if you go, yeah. Okay, in India itself, you have so many job openings. You can go and search, and major MNCs would have their own VI tools. Why Tableau? So let me help you understand here. So first and foremost thing, what happens here is Tableau has given you, means Tableau is becoming so competent, is getting into so much of competition that no MNC would resist itself from getting a Tableau tool for them. There is no MNC which will say that I don't have a Tableau with me. It's so efficient, and the best part is it's cost effective. Second thing, it's very easy to share your data. You can keep it and you can share it in, like, in fraction of seconds. You save your data, you just publish. The moment you publish your data, it's in the hands of the end users who want to use it. And also, what is the main concern of a company? The security of the data. So it also gives you a way to secure your data and make it visible only to people. If you use the same link and you send it to the 4 managers and you say, okay, a manager A should see only A data, his team's data, and B should see his own data, and so on, you can do that. Yes. Tableau is also part of a data science. And so whatever you do in your data science, so it's like this. Even today, data scientists are using Tableau. And I can see, like, the way I think Raghu has asked, is R necessary for Tableau? So what's happening today is, like, even when people are using any other tool to process their data, to clean their data, end of the day, they are coming and relying on Tableau to show their visualizations or to show their findings. It's becoming so evident. If you know that thing, what is the experience range required for a Tableau developer? As Tableau is a pretty, like, not as old as R or some other tools, having a 2 years or 3 years of experience is handy. Can we do data modeling? No, we cannot do extensive or explicit data modeling in Tableau, Gaurav, but we can do small tweaks, and you can write queries to get, if you know the formula, you can write a calculated field, but that's pretty, means a heavy thing. Data cleaning is up to a certain extent we can do, but not explicitly. Again, like adding variables, yep, you can do. So there is something called as parameters in Tableau that you can use for this, and we are going to cover all these things, so you don't have to wait for this. As we go ahead, you will get to know, like, what are the benefits and how can I use or tweak it. As a freelancer, can we work as Tableau developer to gain experience? Yes, there are, I don't know how, for a fresher it will be a little bit tough, but once a person gets expert and start, so there's something called as Tableau Public, that one I showed you. So people go and host their visualizations to tell to the world that, okay, I am a Tableau developer, or means I have a proficiency in making a visualizations, and that's how you can gain eminence and thus get a cool job or get into a freelancer kind of thing. Okay. And one more important thing I would like to share with all of you is, like, for any course information, like the duration or anything related to the course fee and timings, you can always reach out to Ganesh. His email ID is ganesh@excelr.com. And yeah, so that's it for the day, and I would like to stop this session for here. Thank you for your time, guys.